Today's guest, we have Brandon Colley, co-host of What's the Wave podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Adam. This is the Goonery. Let's rock and roll. What's going on?
Not much. I'm glad to be here. This is my first time being a guest on a podcast, so I don't know if this may like pressure on me, but hey, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, no pressure. We're just here to talk sports.
hmm
I guess get a little hyped up. A lot of
hmm
rumblings of sports trying to creep its way back into our lives.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
What you a MLB guy?
I'm a big MLB guy. It's my second favorite sport.
Okay. What's one? What's your favorite?
Oh, football, NFL,
Okay.
and I maybe a little bit of college, 1A, 1B.
Okay, big football guy.
Yes.
We love to talk football in the Goonery, that's for sure.
Cool.
All right, well, MLB, we'll start there. We'll muddle through that. um, what percentage, what likelihood do you think they'll play the season in 2020?
Considering that I think both the players and the owners are acting like spoiled babies at this point, I can't give a good percentage. I would say maybe like I was in the 50 to 70 range when Manfred said 100% there'll be baseball, and then another proposal got shot down. And even with Tony Clark and Rob Manfred meeting, there's still an issue on how many games can they agree to. So with that being said, I'm probably going to go with 45% because right now they've run out of time. It's already June 18th. And if they want to get the season going by the end of July, they got to get it going with it, especially if they want to get a spring training within the middle of July.
Yeah, I agree. It is June 18th when we're recording this, and I did see. I mean, the update seems to change like daily. There seems to be,
hmm
oh, we're close, or oh, we're not close. Um, the latest update. Did you catch that today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, 70 game season, expanded playoff, and other finer details in there.
Yeah,
This
I'm a little, I'm
interesting to
just a
me.
little bit confused of, because it's 70 games is a lot. So within those 70 games, they're not gonna have a lot of breaks. And considering that baseball is a sport where, on like there are people who think baseball should be played on Sundays because it's like the travel from Sunday to Monday. It's a lot for the players. And I just wonder like how they're gonna get all 70 games in within, the end of July to September. Because September 29th, I believe, is the end date that they want for the season. So I wonder how they're going to fit all that in and if that's going to make the players happy because the players want more games. So I wonder how they are going to try and capitulate to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much room for error there. Um, you're looking at August and September, really, in the last week of July, which is pretty much like 75 days, right?
Right.
Yeah. Um, and then with the expanded playoff, uh, what is that looking like? Like how
So
many? Are,
it's gonna be interesting because
yeah,
with the wild card teams, a lot of people who feel like there should be a second wild card. Well, I don't agree. I'm a Cardinals fan, so obviously I'm with the second wild card. But
man,
um,
take a question who your team is, but
yeah,
it's,
I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and in terms of all sports, I'm all over the place. But I'll get to that. But it's going to be interesting because I've always been a believer that the best teams don't win the World Series all the time. You see it some years, you see it, sometimes you don't. So I'll be interested if a team like, let's say, the Marlins get off to like a crazy start because it's possible. They're a bad team, but it's just like okay, maybe it's gonna be that one team that's gonna make a run. Are they going to stick it to the playoffs? Are they going to make a run? And I think that's what makes like the limited schedule so interesting, considering there's so many rooms for possibilities of a team that you thought going into the actual regular season before the pandemic hit. Are they going to struggle? Are they going to fall behind and maybe sneak their way to the playoffs, or just miss it? Because there's really no room forever when you're trying to win just a little amount of games in such short time.
yeah, which is very different for baseball. Um, Yeah, I mean, normally, right, it's a grueling, long statistical season where the managers, I imagine, will be managing the game a lot differently than they would a full 162 game season.
Right.
Um, so it'll probably make the games more watchable in that sense. Um, and at this point, we're all so desperate for some sort of live fucking contact sport or
Absolutely.
contact. But yeah, anything.
But let me ask you a question. Because this is my first time meeting you, like in the video chat form. So let me ask you about the universal DH. Like, how do you feel about that? Because I have my opinions on it.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
How do you feel about the universal DH?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I hate it. I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a Cubs fan.
Oh,
I hate it. I hate it. I saw that was one of the steps, right? Of
yeah.
yeah, that they threw in there as one of the demands, right, from the play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like how they currently do it, right, with half the league DH and the other half no. Um, I, I guess it's just a slippery slope, right? Like,
Yeah.
who are you gonna have?
I'm a
Are you gonna take the catcher out now too?
yeah.
So and so is great on defense in the middle of the infield, but can't
Hmm.
hit for average. Well, I feel like your thought would be the opposite of that. You're for
So,
it.
so, so considering that, I forgot what year it was, but Adam Wainwright one year was just on a tear, and then he tears his Achilles
Yeah,
coming out the
yeah,
box.
yeah,
So ever since that, I'm like, I want the DH, and just seeing from Adam Wainwright's Twitter, I know he wouldn't agree with me because he likes
yeah,
to hit, but I also don't want to run the risk of any of my big pitchers getting injured because of this. But I do see it from the standpoint of those who are against it because it takes the strategic aspect of the game out, and that's mostly what baseball is all about. It's all about strategic, all about strategy. Excuse me,
yeah,
strategy.
yeah,
So in that regard, like I understand it because for like most, hardcore baseball fans who's been watching for years, you're so used to the norm. I like to see baseball advance, not to the point where Rob Manfred likes to see advancement because it's not really advancement, it's just a whole lot of, nonsense in my opinion. But I think just for maybe like a test run, maybe I don't know if a test run will be applicable to this, but I like to see how it would perform in the National League.
yeah. I'll be honest. I won't lose sleep over it. I'll be all for more offense. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, too. Like, I do agree with your point. I would hate to see a pitcher go down. The pitcher is an easy out. It's kind of pointless to have that
Mm-hmm.
position there. Batting when you can have some, big guy that, big yoke dude, you know, get some more points on the board and run.
Right.
Excuse me, that'll offend some people. Um, yeah, I won't lose sleep over it, but I do like how they just have it currently set up with the difference in the NL and the AL.
I won't mind it either. If it changes, it changes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's all good.
Um, one side question: Do you play MLB The Show at all?
I do.
Oh, ooh, you got the latest version, 20.
Yes, I got MLB 20.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to add you on. Are you on the? Oh, obviously it's only.
Well, yeah.
um, well, we'll have to go at it outside of post that on YouTube too.
100%. I haven't played in a while. I usually only play Road to the Show. I was in the franchise like a lot, like when baseball was about to start, kind of tailed off of it. But Road to the Show is good at hitting practice, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I had to get a PS4 up and running again after the quarantine, the lockdown hit hard.
Hmm.
So all set up to the game against anyone. Bring it on. Let's go.
Right.
Let's do it. Um, Football, number one favorite sport here. Uh, Are they at risk of missing the season? Because I saw a little news today trying to scare us that that was a possibility.
So I do think football fans should be just a little bit scared because there's going to be upticks in certain areas like there already has been. So I would wonder with, like for example, I think with certain things like this, if a big star gets it, unfortunately, people gonna start paying attention. Ezekiel Elliott got the COVID-19.
No, it did.
So yes, he did.
I heard a lot of people in Texas got it.
Yeah, exactly. And and when big stars, well, God forbid, contracted, people, the league's gonna look and say, "Hey, we got to protect our brightest stars because at the end of the day, they're going to want to play football, but they're also going to want their stars on the field. So you wonder if the owners or anyone in the higher ups is going to push back and say, you know what, I think we should maybe wait it out just a little bit. We could delay the season or and have the Super Bowl played in late February or March or something like that. But if more cases start coming out, you have to wonder if they're going to consider delaying the season just for a little bit. And I think that's a strong possibility.
Oh, I would hate to
That
see.
would absolutely stink, especially for college football as well. Because I'm personally, I love college football. I somewhat prefer over NFL, somewhat. But if neither are played in, I mean, goodness.
Yeah, I could see the NFL pulling it off. I could see college losing a season. Um, all right, who's your NFL and college team? Gotta get that out there for the fans.
So to lead into what I'm about to say, I'm very miserable as both an NFL and a college football fan. I am a Chicago Bears fan. I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan.
Ooh, big Bears fan.
Yes.
Care less about the Wolverines, but okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you got. I'm sorry. Did you say you were a Bears fan as well?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I know you want to go somewhere with this, but I'm gonna deviate. How do you feel about the quarterback situation?
Oh man. I mean, sure. I don't. I'm not really big on tribs anymore. I think quarterback competition's good. That should motivate him to at least bring his A game.
Hmm.
He has one. Um, I feel like they're doing him a disservice without having like a go-to tight end right now. Um, they have like 10 on the roster, but I don't think any of them are going to pan out. So I feel like it's going to be tough for trips to play all 16 games. Um, I just don't see him doing it. I don't see him being a Bear next year. Actually, to
Oh,
be
me
honest,
either.
I see him going to the Patriots and
Oh,
and
oh,
actually rejuvenating his career there, and it
that
being
would make me sick.
yeah.
Absolutely sick.
I like I like to make bold predictions. That's one of them. I see him being a New England Patriot next year.
Oof, that's bold. That is bold. Because I'm within the camp of I do not think he will win the starting spot out of training camp. And I think has a lot to do with I think if you've been watching Trubisky for the past 2 years under Matt Nagy, I think somewhat he doesn't have a grasp of the playbook. It seems like just a little bit, and you bring in a guy who's been under the same system for most of his career. Already, Trubisky's at a disadvantage. And with that being said, is if Trubisky wins the job with all those obstacles ahead of him,
Yeah,
then he would absolutely earn the job. It's just a matter of can he keep the job. And it doesn't matter to me who starts. I just want to win. I mean, this is a team that is built to win. The offense can get in check. This
yeah,
defense is loaded, literally loaded. I love the Jalen Johnson pick. I love the Robert Quinn pickup. I love the Deshaun Gibson pickup. And Roquan Smith is probably going to have a bounce back season. I think he has his head right. Need Akeem Hicks healthy. Eddie Gomez is going to do what he's going to do. Bilal Nichols is going to do what he's going to do. Kyle Fuller, underrated. Doesn't get talked about enough at all. he's gonna play on one side and then Buster Screen playing the nickel. You can't point out many defenses that is as strongly constructed as the Bears. And it'll be a shame for a quarterback, of course, to ruin it all for a team that could honestly win a division or make it to a championship round
We're surely used to that scenario.
too
Um,
often.
too often. I agree. I hear you, man. I agree. I think that defense is as elite as it gets when it's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the nastiest front sevens you'll ever come across.
100%.
Um, yeah, they really need to get that ball moving on offense. If we want to get in the weeds of the problem, um, Tribs, he had one season at North Carolina. Um, he came in with a tight leash his rookie year. His second year, he was a guy that looked optimistic and like he was having fun. And then, man, that fucking window with that missed kick, man, that fucking brutal. And the following season, there seemed to be a sophomore slump from the quarterback, from the coach, some unlucky injuries on defense, a harder schedule, and I mean it's easy to look grim on the Bears' future from that standpoint. But I mean, I've just seen inaccurate throws from the guy. He looks down the fucking receiver like you can't do that.
And he can't look to the left either.
He doesn't look at the receiver he's going to throw it to. That's the big difference in my opinion. Um, yeah, I don't know if he doesn't understand the offense, but I feel like he just doesn't understand the position.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because just being a Bears fan and just having to hear about the lazy takes of not picking Deshaun Watson, not picking Patrick Mahomes, it gets tiring. We understand, and my thinking always has been, Deshaun Watson, you had no excuse not to draft him, in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes, I don't think anyone could have predicted he was going to be the best quarterback in the game 3 years
Yeah,
in. No way in hell, no one
Patrick,
was predicting that.
I think he's still like in the right place at the right time in one of those
Yes.
situations where it's similar to Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Just they're just in the right system with the right head on the shoulders, and it's working. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, it's terrible to be
Yeah.
to hear that as a Bears fan. Like, what did they see in this guy that they traded up for and missed out on? These other elite quarterbacks that came out of this draft.
And that's what I'm scared about. I'm scared that even though Trubisky may not be the best quarterback out of training camp or preseason, that Ryan Pace is going to try to protect his investment a little bit too much. Because I think it's possible.
I think Ryan Pace has moved on, and that shows in not picking up the fifth-year option and bringing in Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will give Pace some credit for that because I wanted to like Pace. I really did. He's made so many terrible first round draft picks that it's just such head scratchers, And I guess, he has hit on later round stuff, but it's just perplexing that you have blown this many first round draft picks. And I'm sorry that we're having a very depressing conversation about the Bears. It's just not fun.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. Um, but a lot would have to go right. And
Right.
can they do it? That defense is so good that they'll be in every game that they play. Their schedule will be much easier. They'll have a backup option at quarterback. They've got guys that are better than Adam Shaheen at tight end, although not much better. There's a chance. We love Allen Robinson.
Yes.
We want to love David Montgomery, Tariq Cohen. They've got some weapons.
Anthony Miller as well.
I
I want to so bad. I see it. I see it. It's just something is off about him. I don't know what it is. Something is off.
Oh God, I want to like Anthony Miller so much, but he makes
So
some
bad.
boneheaded plays, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Cole Kmet, I hated the Cole Kmet pick, and
you hate it.
I hated it at the
Why?
time because I feel like, maybe I've lessened my stance on it. Let's just say that
Okay,
because we signed Deshaun Gibson, I was like, okay, I get it, because I wanted Antoine Winfield Jr. in the second round. He was there for the taking. I would have minded KJ Hamler as well, or Michael Pittman. You went Cole Kmet, and I was like, and I predicted it. I was like, he's going to get taken because he's the one who's been to the most meetings. He's been talking with the Bears brass the most. I was like, yeah, he's going to go there. I just hope that he produces, because I mean, who's out? The second option is Jimmy Graham. I don't care for Jimmy Graham at this point.
fuck Jimmy
He,
Graham, dude. I
he can't
fucking
stay on
hate
the field, and even if he is on the field, he's not going to do anything.
He's not gonna
JP Holtz
block.
is a fullback.
He's gonna make every easy catch look more difficult than it needs to be. Um, yeah, he's a has been.
Yeah, horribly. And the money that we spent on him makes me even more upset that we invested in him.
I don't like it. I don't like that either. The Cole Komet, whatever his name is, I predicted that pick. I respect the pick. I just don't think it's gonna work out. And my basis is, I'm not a fucking professional sports analyst. I have my biases or whatever, but uh, I just look at these Notre Dame guys. They never do anything in the NFL. None of them. So why is this guy going to be any different? It's just not. And I hope he is, but just can't imagine. Just I don't know, in a league where you need a George Kittle or a Travis Kelsey or one of these, these playmaking. It's all about tight ends in the NFL right now. Like that seems to be the difference maker on some of these offenses. I see what they're going for. I respect it in that sense that they're like trying to go after that, utilizing and taking advantage of that position and the matchup. Uh,
Yeah,
advantages.
we're either gonna get Kyle Rudolph or Troy Nicholas.
Oh man, but yeah, and then we haven't even talked about the kicker yet. You know, it's,
I think it's interesting. I forgot the other kicker's name that we brought in, but I'm surprised that it's going to be a competition going into this upcoming season.
is it okay? Ooh, the lighting's much better now. Excuse me, everyone that had to put up with that. Um, Piniero's not the guy. I heard. I thought he was still the guy.
I thought he was too until they signed another kicker. I was intrigued by it. I'm hoping that, because I like Pinero. I think he has a lot of potential. He did have the slip up against Los Angeles last year, the Chargers that is.
Remember that, man? I was in Alaska watching the game, like fucking game casts on my phone, thinking, "Oh, all right, we're gonna, squeak past this team." And then I was like at a gas pump, dude. He fucking blew the kick. I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
I was at work for that game. I'm just like, there's no way, because like it was another situation where shockingly Trubisky led the Bears into field goal range,
Yeah,
only for it to get blown again. I'm just you can't make it up at this point. Like, are we in? I think we're in kicker obligatory because we got rid of Robbie Gould even when so prematurely. Clearly, I think we are
well,
going to
and
be
bless
we're
his
gonna be
heart, he
kicking
wanted
hell
to
for a
come
long
back.
time.
But San Francisco is not going to let him go without tagging him. So that's
I was hoping they was going to slip up. Hoping.
yeah. Yeah. I mean that 49ers offense is everything you would want the Bears offense to be, and with that defense,
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl make it happen.
Yep.
You
I would kill for the 49ers offensive line.
that's the blueprint for success, right? You have a
Yes.
out defense, and then you have a game-changing tight end. You've got an explosive receiver. You got a couple running back. You got depth at running back. You got a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah, just an offensive line that
Yeah.
makes it easy for all those guys. Yeah, and then you just put basic football strategy behind
Hmm.
that, and you get yourself to a Super Bowl.
That's all right.
Yeah, but yeah, I was listening to your podcast, and if we're gonna harp on the Bears, I want to harp on the Packers too.
Yes.
Uh, you had a prediction that blew me away. I think it was like January or some shit. You guys were talking about Green Bay, and you were just like so confident that they were going to draft a quarterback, and then they did.
Hmm.
What what led to that prediction?
I I'm just I don't know what it is that it just seems as though the appreciation for Aaron Rodgers is just not there for the Packers. I don't know if it has anything to do with his personality, the fact he clashed um with Mike McCarthy. He clashed with Thompson at one point. I don't know if this is something of like, I don't like you, but I'm going to live with you, which is why they drafted Jordan Love in the first place. And I can't like I do like it does feel like they're purposely trying to not give him the right weapons because I think they had so many opportunities to address the wide receiver position, tight end position, and they just didn't do it. And especially and I guess they tried to address the running back position by drafting AJ Dillon. Nothing against him; he's a good running back. He's just
No,
not worth the pick at the time.
that's
But
quarterback and a running back when they should have drafted receiver.
and that's the thing too. Like the wide receiver class was so loaded,
So loaded.
and not one was drafted. I mean, unless you count the tight end they drafted, but tight end. But wide receiver position, it needs to be addressed only for the fact that it seemed like every year someone gets injured. Last year it was Allison that got injured. They lost Randall Cobb. They could have thrown to him. You have Jake Kumaro, who was a preseason darling. You're not going to really rely on him to be the top target. And it's just Devontae Adams being just the lone man on the island right now. And that's just not an ideal situation for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't complain. Been very annoyed, having the division rival up north have elite quarterback play for like the last 25 years, while
They don't
we,
deserve it.
35 quarterbacks in that amount of time. Um, so I got my popcorn and I'm ready for it to implode. Uh,
It's going to
yeah, it's going to, and
100%.
I will very happy. And yeah, and fuck that Jordan Love guy or whatever his name is. I hope he's
I'm ready to hate them.
yeah,
I know I will because it seems like they have such continuity at quarterback, and it makes me so upset. They
yeah,
don't deserve it. I
yeah.
have no basis around that comment, but they just don't deserve it.
No. Again, I'll say it again. It's the most entitled fan base in all sports.
1,000%. That's saying a lot because there's Patriot fans out there too.
There's Patriots fans out there too. Yeah. But yeah, there's no way a Utah State product is gonna do anything in the NFL. I'm sorry, especially at the most important position.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. You know, this will be recorded and on YouTube, so we will find out. And I hope I'm not
We
wrong.
will revert back to this for sure.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, progressing back to your podcast and you're young in your career and out there, what's your ambition with the podcast and what you got going on Twitter and stuff?
Right. So I launched a podcast because I don't know if many people know this, like my contemporaries. I'm the main one who wants to get into the business of being in sports media. They're just along for the ride because those are my friends from high school. We've always talked sports. We always have heated discussions about sports because there's some people who have strong opinions. There's some people who have hot takes, and we decided to combine them into a podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's worked for the most part. So that was a thing where I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna try this and see if it's really for me. And at first I was a little, you know, about starting the podcast because I was wondering how I'm gonna get my fan base, how am I going to keep the continuity, how I'm gonna keep everybody in check, do my research and do topics and all that. And I've always told myself I'm going to be in sports media. I'm going to be in the sports radio business. My goal one day is to call the Super Bowl game. So everything that I just laid out, I said, you know what, I'm going to make it work because my plan A is to be in sports media. My plan B, C, and D is to make it my priority to be in sports media. So that's why I'm here because I could have easily chickened out and said, I don't want to do this. But because I want any platform that would boost me up. This is a cool experience. And I want to get used to doing stuff like this because I know where I want to be. And I'm 23 years old. I need to get a move on it. And this is what I want to do. And I have no doubts about it.
Yeah, respect that, man. Um, yeah, and it's fucking tough, right? Sports and media and all that is a grind, and you got to put in the work, right?
Yes.
Um, so what you want to cover? Football, baseball, or what?
I'll cover some basketball too. Basketball has become a little bit of my lesser favorite sport because it was my favorite sport growing up. And I would like to cover some basketball too. There's a reason behind why I stopped. Well, not really stopped watching basketball. I've kind of like drifted away from it.
Oh,
Work
well,
killed it
we
for me.
definitely want to hear that
Okay.
story on the Goonery.
Yeah.
Let me ask you your team. Who's your team first, and then
And basketball,
yeah.
I'm a Lakers fan.
Um, but yeah, right on. You excited that LeBron came to Hollywood?
So at first I was saying I kind of don't want him to come to LA. And the only reason why is I will want something long term to where if he leaves, everything's just gonna go to crap. And I noticed that about LeBron teams because we see Cleveland now, we saw Miami a couple of years, like years after LeBron had left. I just fear that those that were there before, and well, during his first season, like Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram, that they're gonna become big stars outside of LA because we want to make room for LeBron and get what LeBron wants and everything. Because clearly the Anthony Davis trade was what LeBron wanted. My fear is he's gonna leave when free agency is up. I'm not too scared about it. I personally do think he's gonna sign back, but it's a possibility.
Where's he gonna go?
That's a good question because you know I mean, I think he would be the most comfortable, and you have the biggest like platform here in LA. So I don't know where he could go. You're not because people there's been speculation about Chicago. I don't think he's gonna go to Chicago because
No,
the
I even thought he would retire as a Laker.
I would love that. I would love that, but it's just a matter of I think a lot to do with it is what is LeBron's future going to be like when his fourth year runs out? Is he going to stay in LA? I think he will because I think that was the basis around him going to LA was to like start his next chapter in life.
Right, with
But
movies and all that good stuff.
right, right. But as we have learned about LeBron, you can't put anything past him. So we can't be too sure. So I do think that both like LeBron's decision will hinge on AD's decision and vice versa.
Yeah, I don't see him. Yeah, he's late in his career. I don't. I think he's trying to make Hollywood and LA his home, and
Hmm.
uh, can't blame him. It's definitely more intriguing than Cleveland.
100%.
He's not a young buck anymore down in South Beach.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, um, I feel like the Lakers are also kind of like I don't want to say bulletproof, but I don't think the LeBron effect that you're referring to would affect the Lakers. I think they just have such a prestige of talent that has played on that team over the
Hmm.
years, and I feel like people like want to play for the Lakers, so they have that competitive advantage against the teams.
And I think it's different from when Jerry Buss passed away and it was passed down to Jim Buss. And the stench from Jim Buss isn't there anymore, clearly. Regardless of what you say about Magic Johnson, he did change some things there, regardless if he didn't want to do the job or not. Rob Pelinka's doing an amazing job there, and I believe in him because last year he made me not believe in him, but he's done an excellent job doing making good moves and keeping the team intact. And I hope he's the GM going forward because he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah, yeah, it was good to clean that house up and get LeBron in there, and it's too bad that COVID hit right when they were hitting their stride, right?
100%.
Yeah, we wanted to see that play out. Um,
It'd have been nice to see LeBron fully go on a campaign run for MVP. And
yeah,
I think because of the season being short, and I think Giannis might get it, but I'm not too sure.
yeah. I think it's Giannis's league now, anyway.
Yeah, it's such a toss of a coin for me. Like it's so damn close. I think that game with the Lakers and the Bucks before COVID hit, that was like the showcase game for both sides, and LeBron showed the hell out.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting the NBA. There's so many players just like they move around so many different teams. And then once the Warriors got blown up with injuries and Kevin Durant leaving, like it's open to some other teams to take advantage. What was that story though that you were hinting at earlier about like NBA was kind of
So
involved?
I'm so like I don't know. I'm not as critical as many people with the Warriors' success. But just seeing one team dominate and win the championship every single year, as hypocritical as it is, because I was born in 1997, I was there for the Lakers championship run. It kind of drove me away because it's just like, all right, how many superstars are we going to have going to one team, and then the cycle is going to keep continuing. Ironically enough, Lakers are in that position right now, so can't really complain. But on a much more serious note, um, Kobe Bryant's my favorite basketball player of all time. When
Listen,
he passed away, it was like my love for basketball just dissipated so fast because Kobe was my first favorite player in basketball. He ultimately reached to be my favorite athlete of all time. And I remember I tried to sit down and watch the first Laker game after he passed away against the Blazers, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because the person who got me into it, even though he wasn't on the floor, like like every time I watch a Laker game, I feel the spirit on the court, like regardless if he was alive or he's passed away. And the fact that he passed away and the way he passed away, it was just like I just don't have the love for it like I do anymore, and I don't think it'll ever come back.
oh shit. Yeah, that was a very tragic passing and took us. That was fucking this year too. Like
Crazy to think it was this year because so much crap has happened this year.
worst fucking year of all time.
100%.
Yeah, I feel for you, man. It was a tough loss, and he'll be missed. He was young
Mm-hmm.
and a lot to give still.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know if you saw on Bleacher Report, uh, they were doing like the goats for like every height
Mm-hmm.
possible in basketball.
I caught some of it.
What's that?
I caught some of it. I don't remember. I don't memorize everything, but I
Okay,
caught.
I just saw a post on Bleacher Report. They're like, "Oh, here's the goat for 6'1", 6'2", and so
Mm-hmm.
on." Poor Kobe, man, 6'6".
It's funny. I looked it up because I was like, all right, they're not going to disrespect Kobe like this. So let me go look up Kobe's height. He's
Yep.
6'6". I was like, he's all right. He's 6'6". Who's listed at 6'6"? Ah, it's MJ.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I was about to flip, but I'm not gonna do it because I understand. It's MJ.
yeah,
You cannot
yeah.
gonna put anyone over him.
You got blocked there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I was laughing just yeah, the difference an inch makes. The 6'9" too. Holy shit, because that's LeBron's height, and they're
Yeah. Loaded.
fucking Larry was
Absolutely
6'9",
loaded.
Magic was 6'9",
Yeah.
Carmelo was 6'9". I couldn't believe how many goats there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough. That's a tough
yeah.
height to like because LeBron's obviously undisputed gonna be there listed, but
And then you got
there's so
Scotty
many guys behind him.
8, like no one's fucking 6'8", right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Cool. What are you trying to work for, like another publication down the road, or trying to do like a solo act and get that rolling? Or?
My thinking is any way I can get it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And a solo act would be amazing because that's like my own platform and I get to, be me and not be, handcuffed in a sense. But if everyone starts somewhere, so if I got to start somewhere where I have to work for one of these publications and whatnot, I would love to do that because I have strong opinions not just on sports but social issues as well, and I would like to be myself and not be handcuffed and not being told what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of platform I'm trying to, or the publication with the Goonery, right?
And you're doing a hell of a job, by the way.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it.
100%.
Yeah, I just want to be a place for people to be able to express themselves and not feel handcuffed or any of that stuff that's
Mm-hmm.
going on out there where you can say what you want to or can't talk to somebody about something.
Right.
Um, but yeah, man, it's always fun to talk sports, right? Like that's usually the easiest thing to relate to with people.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like there's a lot of people
100%.
out there, right? You know. I hope we get sports. I hope we get it back. I hope baseball gets their shit together. I hope
Yes.
football doesn't have as many obstacles as there very much could be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some bad news today with people from Texas getting COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So we'll have to pray for them and fingers crossed or whatever it is that we do.
Yep.
Um, But yeah, do you wanna plug your social with what you got going on right now? If
Sure.
yeah.
My Twitter is Cauley Cauley underscore 97 on Twitter. Instagram is underscore BTC5. And also on Twitter, I have my podcast linked up there. I have a couple of articles I write from Primetime Sports Talk currently. You can check out those articles. I've written 2 articles. I look on planning to write more in the future. And yeah, it's about it. Keep up with everything I talk about. I joke a lot, and I talk a lot of sports.
I know you got me fucking cracking up. Found you on Twitter, just sports and Chicago, Chicago Bears stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on the show, man. Definitely want to come back
Absolutely.
on when there's more to talk about.
I love to come back on. This was fun. I had a lot of fun, man. Great talking to you. Let's do this again soon.
Let's do it.
Right.
Brandon Colley, ladies and gentlemen.